Pada tanggal 15 Agustus 1971, secara sepihak Amerika Serikat menghentikan berlakunya Bretton Woods Agreement. Sejak itulah emas tidak lagi menjadi backing mata uang dunia. Era tersebut dikenal dengan era mata uang kertas dan dolar sebagai panglimanya. Dalam sejarah moneter dunia dijumpai bahwa penggunaan mata uang kertas yang tidak ditopang dengan komoditas seperti emas menyebabkan sejumlah masalah yang sangat serius dalam perekonomian.
Pada ketika itu, kejatuhan nilai mata wang rupiah dan juga Malaysia disebabkan oleh pedagang mata wang. Mereka menjual wang untuk menurunkan nilai mata wang. Kedudukan finance mata wang seluruh dunia sekarang ini merosot. Kita lihat.
So what they did was to make haram what Allah made halal. In order for them to institute a monetary system which will prohibit the use of gold and silver as money, they needed big wars, and they needed to win the war. And that is the First and Second World War. And a new monetary system came to the world after the Second World War. That monetary system has been with us since then, 1944. But I have news for you tonight. There's another war coming, and it's just around the corner. And when that war comes, they're going to finish this monetary system. They don't need it anymore. And they'll bring a new one. But the Mufti doesn't know that. Who gives his bogus fatwa that the money we're now using is halal. Mufti, are you listening to me? Mufti, you're going to have to answer in the grave, Mufti, for declaring this money to be halal. No. This money was possible because they first declared that money to be haram. The Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund prohibit the use of gold as money. Dr. Mahathir was not aware of that. I am not a politician. I don't comment on politics. But when someone does what is right, I declare that he did what is right, and I don't care who is annoyed with me. A scholar of Islam doesn't bow his head before public opinion. Dr. Mahathir was not aware that the International Monetary Fund prohibited the use of gold as money. But Dr. Mahathir was able to recognize, as no one else recognized, that this was wrong. That this was wrong. That you cannot prohibit the use of gold as money. And Dr. Mahathir did what no one else did in the history of this country. Let me remind the Malaysian people, if they need to be reminded, that Dr. Mahathir did what no one else did ever did, and perhaps no one else will ever do. When I met him, I told him that. I said, you're the second one to do it. The first was General Charles de Gaulle. General Charles de Gaulle recognized that this was wrong, this was unjust. Bringing a new monetary system in the world, and in order for this bogus system to survive, you have to prohibit the use of gold as money. So Charles de Gaulle stood up in the French National Assembly in 1966. That's why the French people loved Charles de Gaulle. And he blasted them. In the French National Assembly, he blasted them. And he declared this to be an unjust monetary system that you brought into the world. And so they took out their knives for him. Yeah. And they finished him. And after after Charles de Gaulle, the only other one was Dr. Mahathir. And so this country should be proud of Dr. Mahathir, because he recognized what no one else recognized. And no one else dares to recognize. They don't have the courage to recognize what he recognized. And tonight I have to give credit where credit is due, regardless of the price I have to pay. At the time when I said that Dr. Mahathir was only the second, I was wrong. I didn't know he was the third. I didn't know that there was one before him. I didn't know that there was one before Charles de Gaulle. But he's today forgotten. They call him a playboy. Ahmad Sukarno was more than a playboy. Ahmad Sukarno.
Sukarno had a well-deserved reputation as a womanizer. The CIA had tried to undermine him in the eyes of his people by producing a pornographic film with a body double wearing a Sukarno mask. Western intervention had backfired. Having stood up to a superpower, President Sukarno's grip on his country tightens, and he becomes emboldened on the international stage. Sukarno uses the United Nations to protest about Western intervention.
I hate imperialism. I detest colonialism. And I fear the consequences of their last bitter struggle for life. We are determined that our nations and the world as a whole shall not be the plaything of one small corner of the world.
Shortly afterwards, Britain moves to form the new state of Malaysia on Indonesia's border. Sukarno is not consulted. Incensed, he launches a military campaign against British forces to crush Malaysia. Britain's top propaganda specialist, Norman Redaway, is sent to Singapore to take charge of Britain's propaganda war.
What I remember Norman telling me, his mission was very simple. Do anything you can, he was told, to get rid of Sukarno. And he was given a budget. It was a matter of hundreds of thousands.
When Indonesia became independent, Ahmad Sukarno called in the ulama. He had the courage to do it. And he asked them about this money. I'm not a scholar of Islam, you are the scholar. Tell me, how can we have paper as money? How can we have paper as money? And the ulama replied to him and said to him, the paper would be halal only if it is redeemable in gold. Meaning you could take the paper and get the gold at a fixed rate. So the paper will be like a check. So Ahmad Sukarno decided that the Indonesian rupiah would be redeemable in gold, and he fixed the rate. But the people who want to rule the world, they had made that haram. In the Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund. So they had to launch a coup via a crooked man called Soeharto to get rid of Sukarno. So there were three.
Suka tidak suka, nilai mata uang kertas itu akan jatuh dan hancur sehancur-hancurnya. Agar kita tidak ikut hancur di dalamnya, maka persiapkan diri kita dengan emas, dinar, dan dirham.
Rasulullah bersabda, nanti kalian semua akan kembali kepada dinar dan dirham sebagai mata uang kalian. Dinar adalah emas, Pak. Dirham adalah perak. Nanti kalian semua akan kembali kepada dinar dan dirham. Dan kalian akan meninggalkan uang-uang kertas yang pada saat itu seperti daun dan daunan menguning yang berguguran dari batang pohon, berserakan di pinggiran jalan, dipermainkan oleh anak-anak kalian, kata Rasulullah. Masya Allah kaum muslimin. Ini menandakan manusia pernah merasakan uang palsu. Bapak tahu bahwa uang kertas yang beredar di seluruh muka bumi ini adalah rekayasa terparah, konspirasi terjahat Yahudi kepada dunia. Dijadikannya uang yang beredar adalah kertas yang tidak ada harga. Ini kertas berapapun nilainya, US apapun ya, $100. Kalau kertas ini saya bakar setengah, yang $100 itu, atau saya robek ya, ini menjadi ada harga enggak? Tidak ada, balik kepada asalnya kertas, nggak ada harga. Tapi kalau emas mau dipatahkan, mau dibakar, mau dibengkokkan ya, tetap bernilai seperti itulah yang sebenarnya harta. Dan rekayasa Yahudi 300 tahun terakhir, mereka berhasil menipu umat manusia dengan menjadikan mereka yang tidak punya apa-apa seolah-olah menggenggam dunia dengan uang palsu yang mereka ciptakan, yaitu uang kertas. Dan uang ini bisa dimanipulasi, bisa direkayasa, dan bisa dijadikan sebagai alat untuk menghancurkan dan menguasai dunia ini. Itu mereka lakukan. Tetapi Allahu Akbar, wa makaru wa makarallah wallahu khairul makirin. Mereka punya makar, Allah juga telah merencanakan makar sendiri. Makar Allah yang pasti menang. Pada akhirnya manusia digiring dan dipaksa oleh Allah untuk kembali kepada harta yang sebenarnya, emas dan perak, dinar dan dirham.